Finding Hope in God's Providence During Times of Uncertainty by Keri Willis. But Joseph replied, "Don't be afraid of me. Am I God, that I can punish you? You intended to harm me, but God intended it all for good. He brought me to this position so I could save the lives of many people. No, don't be afraid. I will continue to take care of you and your children." So he reassured them by speaking kindly to them. Genesis chapter 50, verses 19 through 21. By the time this article is published, the 2024 presidential election will be over. No matter what side of the political world you are from, the outcome has potential to be unsettling. As believers, we need to view these times through the lens of God's sovereignty and providence. Several years ago, I found myself in an unexpected situation with my employer. Packing up to leave, one of my coworkers said, "Keri, I don't know what happened or why, but maybe you can look at this as a Joseph moment." His encouragement led me to go home and study the life of Joseph. He was called at a young age to serve the Lord and rule over a nation. But as a youngster, he may have lacked some humility and discretion. He told his brothers about his dreams. This didn't endear him to them. It made them resentful, so resentful they faked his death and sold him into slavery. In Egypt, he worked hard and moved his way up the ladder to head of the household for his new master, just to be accused of nefarious activities with the master's wife. Off to the dungeon he went. This little stint in the slammer gave him time to gain a humble attitude and much-needed wisdom. By the age of 30, he had gained so much favor in the sight of Potiphar that he had become second in command over Egypt, eventually giving food and a place to live to the brothers who had so spitefully used him in his youth. When their father died, the brothers were afraid because of what they had done to Joseph. Their very lives were in his hands. But he didn't choose retaliation or retribution. He chose to seek God's providence and sovereignty and offered forgiveness. Referring to their previous behavior towards him, he said, "You meant it for evil, but God meant it for good." How often do we wallow in the injustice of our circumstances? Whether it's the election results, a job loss, a parking or speeding ticket, an illness, a harsh word, or grumpy boss, God sees. God knows. God is working all things for good. When I look back at how God has grown me and what He's allowed me to do since my Joseph moment, I am amazed and grateful. I've been on hikes in the redwoods with my husband, fully present for my kids' college graduations and weddings, and I pour myself into the ministries He has given me. While my Joseph moment was excruciating and the most humiliating experience I've ever faced, I found the more I released the hold on my career, the better I was able to see God's hand of providence working in my life. His providence may be invisible to us at the moment we think we need to understand His plans, but that's where faith must rule our hearts. God's plans and ways are so much better than ours. He cares about our future and well-being far more than we can ever imagine. He is faithful. Questions for reflection. Where have you seen God's providence in your life? What do you need to surrender to His sovereign will? Do you ask God to show you signs of His work in your life?